All right, Don Bechler from the what's the name of your organization?
Single Payer Now,
Where are you from?
San Francisco, California.
And so, is Jerry Brown, if he becomes governor, going to sign single payer?
I don't know.
Have you talked to him about it?
Yes, I have.
And what did he say?
He said we need to figure out the financing of it, because as it is now, the legislative analyst says it's going to cost an extra $40 billion over what was projected 5 years ago. And we said, yes, that's true, so we fix it. And he says, but until we get the exact language down for the financing, we got to get that done first before I can come out.
So how are you going to get it down?
We'll have to come up with a new study to show that what the finances are.
Well, if he becomes governor, and they sign the bill that California has passed twice, what's the financing in that bill?
There is none at this time. What it says in the bill is that there'll be a special panel put together to figure out the bill. So you could pass the bill and still not have single payer because there's no financing for it. But the fundamental lesson, or the fundamental message from Senate Bill 810 in California is that the California legislature wants the insurance industry out of health care. That's an important fundamental statement to make. And whatever it takes, they know it'll be cheaper, and then we'll figure out the money. Now, if Arnold Schwarzenegger had signed the bill 5 years ago when it first came to his desk, we could be saving $22 billion a year right now, but he didn't. And so every year that we postpone signing the bill, healthcare costs have gone up, so our financing mechanism of what we have to raise will go up.
Well, why not put the financing mechanism in the bill?
Because California has this arcane situation where to raise taxes that you need a 2/3 vote, and we have enough to pass a bill with about 58% of the legislators for it, but not 67%.
So you're going to pass single payer and then try and get 2/3 of the legislature,
or we'll have to go to the ballot to pass it.
and you can do it on the ballot with 50%, 51%.
We could. The technicalities of it are probably long and boring, but there's two types of initiatives. Just a straight-up initiative where you need 400,000 people to get signing your petitions to get on, or you can have a constitutional amendment that says how it'll be financed, and that would take 50% plus one vote in California.
So that's probably the way you'll go.
Yeah.
So you get Jerry Brown to sign the bill that's already been passed, and then you get a constitutional amendment on the ballot in 2012.
Yeah. And there'll be another ballot measure on and if Jerry Brown signs the bill, we can be guaranteed the insurance industry will run out and put a referendum, a ballot initiative, on the ballot to overturn the legislature. And so we'll be in a big legislative battle, a big ballot fight on that. And it'll be the mother of all initiatives. I'm convinced the insurance industry will spend more money to defeat single payer in California than Obama spent to win the presidency of the United States. I mean,
Which is how much is that? How much is it?
What did he spend? $700 million or something?
So it's right. It's right that if Jerry Brown becomes governor, he will sign single payer. That's your sense, that he will sign single payer, and then there'll be a ballot initiative in 2012.
Yeah, that's the best case scenario, right? That he would sign it, right? And the reason he should feel comfortable signing it is because right now the Democratic legislature has passed the bill twice. It has 45 co-sponsors for the bill. There's 120 legislators in California, and 45 are co-authors, and it's part of the plank of the California Democratic Party. So if he voted against all this, he should quit the Democratic Party or something,
Got it. All right, it says healthcare yes, insurance companies no, single payer now. So how are you going to, Don, how are you going to defeat the initiative that the insurance industry puts on in 2012 to overturn single payer?
It'll be a big battle, and I think we're going to need at least 100 organizers in the field who are out organizing 50,000 people in the 23,000 precincts in California to go arm people against the media onslaught from hell against our movement, to tell them that the insurance companies are going to give them one lie after another. We need to immunize the people against their media campaign they're going to get.
And so, okay, so Jerry Brown's elected governor, he signed single payer, the insurance industry counterattacks, they put it on the ballot in 2012, they dump a huge amount of money, in the Initiative from Hell campaign, and what are you doing to prepare California for this right now?
Right now, we're trying to build up our database of activists. We constantly are adding about 200 people a week to our database, and we're constantly expanding then also our base of activists who do things once a month. We have about 200 people a month who do some little thing for a single payer every month. It could be helping with a mailing, it could be tabling, they could go out and talk to their neighbors and get 5 of them to sign postcards which come back to us, which we put on our database. It could be participating in a demonstration, it could be lobbying. Our job as organizers is to figure out, is to give people who have a half an hour or 2 hours or 5 hours a month to give to the movement, to make it easy for them to give their 30 minutes or 5 hours a month to help build this campaign. That's what we try to do. And every month we count that. And every month we have a little newsletter that thanks them for whatever they did.
You're talking with organizers of other state single-payer campaigns, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Maryland. Is California going to be the first in the nation?
I don't have a crystal ball, but Pennsylvania seems like they're pretty confident about doing things. I tend to think we're pretty confident that it will get in some time. And our timeline is based upon when we can develop the organizational structure to win an initiative and go door to door, or at least half the precincts in California.
There is sort of a split in the single-payer movement. Some people think we should just focus on the federal because even if we get state, eventually we're going to need federal. Other people think, like yourself, state's most important.
I tend to think it'll get one first on a state level, but I'm not really. We did all kinds of work this year on the federal bill. We had demonstrations at Pelosi's office 4 times. The 4th time she called Homeland Security on us and had 12 of us arrested. So, you know, if the national stuff is in the papers, we go do something about that. On February 25th, when Obama was having a meeting with the Republicans, we had a demonstration in San Francisco with giant banners that said, Californians want Medicare for everyone.
If you were a member of Congress, would you vote for or against the current Obama legislation?
Against.
Why?
I think it does more harm. I think it embeds the insurance companies in our lives, and that means $400 to $500 billion subsidies for them. It'll be harder to take them out because now they're going to be granted 30 million potential new customers. So I'm for some of the things that are in the bill. I'm for expanding Medicaid, and I'm for doing away with pre-existing conditions. I just think you got to pass laws that do just that and not do the real harm of bailing out the insurance companies and forcing 30 million more Americans to buy their product.
But they argue, the argument is that if you're going to tell the insurance companies that they can't deny a person with pre-existing conditions, you have to force people to buy because then
people wait till they just get sick.
People wait till they get sick to buy.
Right. Okay, so too bad. I mean, actually, Massachusetts has a law against pre-existing conditions from insurance companies now. I mean, they had it before. They had it 5 years ago.
But they still force people to buy.
And then they passed another law that forced them to buy it on top of that.
Right.
Okay. So the insurance companies make enough money. I don't care. I think you got to have a law that says insurance companies can't deny care to anybody. I mean, they're supposed to be in business to provide health care. But they're actually in business to deny care to people who need it, pass costs on to others, and deny claims. I mean, they're like the cancer in America.
Last thing,
so I'm for the death penalty for insurance companies.
You're favor that?
I don't want to.
You're pro-death penalty.
For the insurance companies, yes, I am. I'm for tying them to a big anchor and throwing them in the Pacific Ocean.
All right, and we're for throwing them to the Atlantic Ocean. So
there you go.
Okay.
I mean, trying to involve the insurance companies in meaningful healthcare reform is like trying to involve the mafia in a discussion about local public safety. It's just, they're incompatible.